Hi, and welcome to the Elder Law Report. My name is Brenton Begley. I'm an attorney and partner with McIntyre Elder Law, and I'm joined today by John Miller, one of the attorneys in our Hendersonville office. Hi, John.
Hi, Brenton.
All right, so John, today we're talking about the importance of having a power of attorney in place, knowing that there are two major types of powers of attorney. First, the general durable power of attorney, and then second, looks like the background effects are on. Second, the healthcare power of attorney, which is obviously for healthcare purposes, and the general durable power of attorney being for legal and financial purposes. So, John, why would it be important for somebody to have a power of attorney put in place?
Well, I think it would be important for everyone to have a durable power of attorney in place because you never know what's going to happen. A durable power of attorney allows someone to come in and step into your shoes and do the type of transactions that may need to be done. Let's say, for example, that you are in the hospital and need banking transactions performed. That durable financial power of attorney would allow that to happen. Basically, you never know what's going to happen, so it's good to have that in place.
Right. So, we don't have a crystal ball, and we really don't know what someone's going to need to do on our behalf. So, a really good power of attorney, and you said it well, a power of attorney appoints somebody to act on your behalf as if they were you for legal and financial purposes, healthcare purposes. So they basically step into your shoes. So we don't know what they're going to need to do. So the power of attorney, if it's well written, is going to be comprehensive. It's going to cover everything, right? Because maybe, maybe I have bank accounts, maybe I have IRAs, maybe I have a retirement account, right? Maybe I have a life insurance policies, real property. Lord knows what may need to be done with those things to help protect it. If I am ever in a situation where maybe I'm incompetent, incapacitated, need, indefinite long-term care, we don't know what an attorney may recommend to help protect those assets, get me qualified for like a much needed benefit to pay for that long-term care. So really, if I'm going to put a power of attorney in place, I want to make sure that it is comprehensive and covers really anything I can do for myself.
That's certainly true. And that's actually one of the things that I like about our power of attorney that we prepare. It is very comprehensive and covers situations that that maybe folks haven't thought of, maybe even that other attorneys haven't thought of.
Right. Yeah. And, and you might hear too, well, John, I don't want to give up control. I don't want to have that. So I don't think I want to do a power of attorney right now because I don't want to give up control. What would you say to somebody who has that type of concern?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, you can have a power of attorney that's called a springing power of attorney that comes into effect, for example, when two physicians may say that you are not competent to handle your affairs. So you certainly could have a springing power of attorney that comes into effect when needed. The other thing I would say is this. Trust the person that you are appointing as an agent.
Right.
They're going to be speaking for you, signing documents on your behalf, and that's very important. You have to trust the person that you're appointing as an agent. Had someone earlier this week that they wanted to put a lot of limitations on the power of attorney. So one of my questions to them was, do you really trust this agent?
Right.
And I think that's a concern and something you want to make sure that you deal with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's very perceptive of you because, you may have an individual who just has a difficulty trusting other people, even if they are trustworthy. And then you may run into folks who, have, no difficulty trusting people, but the people that they have in their life may not have not had these conversations, may not know how trustworthy maybe naming a child is. One of the things that I see a concern that a lot of clients have is that if they name one child, how will that child kind of communicate and speak to the rest of the family, right?
Sure.
So that could be a difficulty there. But what I tell clients all the time is it's not a popularity contest. I'll ask people, hey, have you given any thought to who you want to name as power of attorney? And they'll say, well, my oldest son, he's a accountant, or my oldest daughter, she's a nurse, or they're sophisticated. They're good at doing this for themselves, so I think they do a good job for me. But if I name them, I think one of the other children will be jealous or will be offended. And there's two things I say to that. Number one, it's not a popularity contest. You need to name the person that you trust and who's going to be able to do the job, who's sophisticated enough to do the job. If someone is not able to balance their own checkbook, then they're certainly not going to be able to do it for you, right? And then the second thing is that that just tells you that you need to, as the patriarch or matriarch of the family, encourage good communication between your children or your loved ones, because that's something that we can't give you as a legal tool, good communication among family members. But we do encourage, as part of the estate planning process, is tell people what's going on and why and what the attorney recommended. And the attorney can always help facilitate those conversations as well. So what about, healthcare power of attorney? Why might somebody want to have that healthcare power of attorney put in place?
Well, that again, you never know what's going to happen. I think most hospitals or even day clinics, they're going to ask you when you go in, do you have a healthcare power of attorney in place? And you want to have that in place because someone may have to make a decision on your behalf. You may be under general anesthesia. Something may happen as far as a complication. So again, it's easier to have that documentation in place than to have to be potentially rushing around at the hospital or clinic to fill out the document that they may hand you. You may be under anesthesia, or you'll certainly be potentially nervous about the procedure. So it's better to have that in place ahead of time.
Right.
And
that's their own internal document too. It's not even a real healthcare power of attorney. It's just an internal document that says who they can talk to if they can't talk to you because they put you under anesthesia or something similar. That's a good point. So the power of attorney, generally, you can name one or multiple people under that power of attorney. I personally think too that it's good to have one quarterback on the field at a time, right? So you need one agent, give them the authority, but it's good to have multiple backups there and available if at all possible, right? So you name your spouse first, and then a child second, and then maybe another child, something like that. That's what I see a lot of people end up doing.
Exactly, and I think again, you mentioned that you want to put someone in that role that's the best equipped to handle it. So if you have a son or daughter that's a CPA, great. They may be the perfect fit for the durable financial power of attorney. They may not be for the healthcare power of attorney. You may be lucky enough to also have a son or daughter that's a nurse, and
Right.
and that can then help you with that. Yeah.
Right. And two, you mentioned something I want to go back to. Rushing around trying to put it in place. What happens if you do become incompetent or incapacitated? Can you still do a power of attorney at that point?
No. That is, you are cut off from doing that. You're
Right.
not competent, and then you're looking at a guardianship, which, as we know, can be a very expensive and time-consuming process.
Can be, absolutely.
Yep.
So, yeah, it sounds like power of attorney is an incredibly important thing to have in place up front, way before you ever need it.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it. So if you have questions about power of attorney, how they work, how to set them up, what the effect that power of attorney may have on your overall estate plan, what the agent may be able to do on your behalf with the power of attorney, or who best to name as an agent under power of attorney, give us a call. We'd love to help. Okay. You can get more information by visiting our website, www.mcelderlaw.com. And you can also use that same website to schedule your free consultation today, or give us a call, 704-259-7040. This has been the Elder Law Report. John, thank you very much. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Brenton. See you next time.